Hi, Brent Haynes with Wood Sound Flutes. We got to show you today a couple of bass flutes. Very fun bass. I love the bass flutes. They sound so great, but gosh, those flutes can get so big. What do you do if you can't reach the holes because it's so long? So this is a new yellow cedar burl flute we just finished. This flute is currently available on my webpage. It's got a pitch pine trim on it with a little bit of ebony and some abalone. And it is just lovely. Oh, so let's talk, before I get to playing it, let's actually talk about the ergonomics. So this has on it right now what we call our easy clean side blow. And that is this attachment, not attachment, but this mouthpiece. It has nickel silver tubing to create the joint. So it's a good long lasting joint with little maintenance. And it allows you to blow into the flute in basically any position, because I can rotate this mouthpiece to any position that I could want it in. So I find it, if you think of this as perhaps 0, so straight down being 0, and then come up at a 45, at that position is where I actually find that it's most comfortable to play for me. And so what I'll do, we're gonna try and do this sitting down, but what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to bring the flute. I'll cover the holes with my hands. You'll notice that the holes are articulated a little bit for a right hand down player. So I'm going to cover the holes with my hand and then just bring the flute directly into my mouth. And I'm conscientiously being aware of keeping my neck straight. I don't want to put a twist in my neck, either like this or in any direction, because I want my neck to be able to be relaxed through the playing and not develop any kind of tightness or problems while I'm actually in the process of making the music. And so so this is the way that I found it works best. And I typically just rest my hand on my belly, and I put my other hand across my chest, and I just bring it straight into my mouth. Well, I've now played this flute more in the video than I have at any other time. It is that new. And so I'm really exploring the flute literally as I'm sitting here recording this video, and actually exploring it as an instrument, not as something that we're making. It's a different kind of thing. You know, when you're tuning a flute, it's not the same as playing it. Anyways, so wow, I'm really impressed. I think it sounds fantastic. It's got it sounds a little like a blend of normal yellow cedar and yellow cedar burl. It has a little bit of an edge to the note that I think is really delicious and really fun. So that flute, you can see more on this flute up on my website. And now I got to share with you a really glorious instrument. This flute is a Contra Bass E Flute. I'll try and hold it here so you can see it all in the frame. So that's a Contra Bass E. It has a little frog totem on it. This flute was made for a client, and she ordered this flute and was wanting something that was big like this, but that wasn't going to be too heavy for her. And so we chose, because it's a lot of wood. So we chose redwood as the wood, because redwood tends to be a lighter wood, and it tends to have a good sound. And so so that's why we chose this redwood. This particular flute, because of what we had for inventory on woods, and because of the size of the instrument, we ended up using a piece of redwood burl up in the top section of the flute, the head joint here, and then a piece of curly redwood down here for the tube. And I am just totally in love with it. I think it is just so elegant. The grain change is really lovely, but the colors are beautifully consistent. So. Then we have our easy clean mouthpiece, and this has I think Josh got a little crazy on this one. He made it a little extra fancy, and it's really freaking cool. So you can see this is quite the piece of equipment right here. This would need to be protected just like the flute, of course, and but it allows you to really do some incredible things. So on this flute, let's come back to this flute for just a second. So on this flute, we have just what I call a simple side blow. And so this would be a simple side blow. It just comes straight out of the side of the flute. And when I play it, hopefully you can see my hand here, my right hand. And what I want you to see is that it's bent up like this. It actually, for me, would be better if the mouthpiece were down here. So for me, because I'm 5'11", when I stand really straight, and maybe not. Anyways, for me, the flute would be more comfortable there, and I would probably be better off playing a bass A flute with an end blow like this. That said, I actually love playing it with the side blow, and my personal preference would be to get a flute with a side blow if I were going to be playing a bass A, and so, but with a simple side blow. Now, if I were 5'2", then that probably is going to be pretty dang close to perfect, but it also may need to be a little bit of an extension on it. So this is an extension, this piece right here. Let's just get this mouthpiece only. Okay. So what we have is we have the piece that fits onto the flute, and air comes in, transfers over, and this long transfer tube, its purpose, this long transfer tube's purpose is to move the mouthpiece down on the flute. And effectively what that does is it moves the flute up in my hands. So if I had a simple side blow on this, and I'm going to just stand up a little bit. If you can't see my head, that's okay. What you need to see is the hands right now. So if I were to blow on the side blow way up here like it had a simple side blow, you can see that I still have quite a bit of bend in my wrist. But by bringing this transfer tube up right here, all of a sudden the bend disappears. And so and the gal who bought this is about the same height as me, and so this is going to be just very comfortable for her to be able to play. Now, I posted a video the other day when we were down at the Colorado Indian Market. Landon Cam has a really lovely Contrabass E Flute, and he brought it to the show to play and show me again, and he likes playing it with it straight back, so that the mouthpiece comes straight off the back, and then you just bring that in straight to the face like this. So that's how Landon likes playing it. And it works just fine for sure. And so if that would be in the 0 position, and then I'm going to move it up to a 45. And for me though, this is my favorite position still. wow, I wish that was my flute. Holy smokes. Wow. That's a lot of fun. Really, really, really love this flute and the way it's tuned. Boy, that bottom hole right here, the sixth hole, boy, it just got a great sound. The balance on the flute is amazing to me. It's really, really spectacular. Anyways, so some of the things that we did on this flute to keep the weight down, well, we did the Redwood Burl, and then I forgot to tell you what we did up here in the voice box. And this is actually happened by, I won't say mistake, but we had a problem with our equipment when we machined this the head joint the first time. And the material in here that would make the voice box got obliterated. And so I wanted to be able to, when Angela ordered the flute, we were talking about getting this like cocobolo sort of sound, and she really, really loved that sound, but the weight was just way too much. It just a lot of weight. Cocobolo would, I mean, it would be probably 3 or 4 times heavier than this flute. And so we didn't want to do that because of the weight. So when this accident happened, I thought, you know, if we inlay this with ebony, or actually it's Brazilian rosewood, if we inlay this with Brazilian rosewood, then we're going to be able to get a lot of that rosewood sort of sound out of the instrument. And we're not going to get all of it because a tube does have an effect on the sound of the instrument, of course, but a lot of the tonal qualities of the flute come about through the voice box itself, through the splitting edge. And so it allowed us to really get an incredible hybrid, and this flute is just really, really wonderful. There's one more thing I want to talk about with the Easy Clean side blow, and that is how do you use it to clean it? First off, you're done playing the flute, you remove the totem, you can take the mouthpiece off, and now with the mouthpiece off, you can tap it dry, and you can get into the slow air chamber with foam covered cotton swabs. And but the mouthpiece here, this is another story. We still have a very convoluted air channel through this piece. It just comes all the way, all that air has got to go that whole way. So moisture can get sitting in any of that, and you just don't want that. That's moisture sitting in the wood is bad. It's going to eventually get through any finish. And even though this has all been finished inside and out to protect it from water, we still have to worry about water sitting in here. So when you're done playing it, you simply blast it out. And you might hold a microfiber cloth up here as you're blasting that out, and just let that all that moisture come out. I'm getting a little bit of moisture there from my breath, and then that's going to allow this now to just air dry. So you would just set this out with your flute and let that just air dry as it is. So anyways, this is a Contra Bass E again. I would be delighted to make one of these for you if you have an interest. And if you have any other questions about bass flutes or side blows, easy clean side blows, by all means, give me a call. You can reach me at 801-822-1415 or brent@woodsounds.com. Have a great one.